I saved for 7 years to buy my dream home and invited my family for a housewarming. They never came. The morning sunlight filters through my kitchen windows. Casting golden patterns across the dining table, I spent 4 hours arranging. 26 place settings with heritage china I collected over years. 26 crystal glasses reflecting the light. 26 empty chairs. My phone buzzes again. The sound cuts through the silence like a blade. I've been ignoring it for the past hour, but the notifications won't stop. With shaking hands, I reach for it, the weight of it suddenly crushing. The screen lights up with a cascade of social media alerts, and there they all are. Dad and Mom grinning beside Ashley in what must be her new condo. Uncle Marcus lifting a beer bottle. Aunt Patricia with her arm around my cousin Daniel. Grandfather looking tired but content in the background of the shot. My father's caption reads, "So proud of our girl's first property investment. The Peterson family is celebrating Ashley's huge achievement." I swipe to the next photo. More family, more grins, more champagne. Then a video begins playing. Ashley, her perfectly whitened smile gleaming as she laughs with 2 of our cousins. David's always bragging with his fancy home improvement posts. Today is my day. The phone slips from my grasp, clattering onto the table. I press my palm against my mouth, but it doesn't stop the whimper that escapes. Tears cloud my vision as I stare at the untouched hors d'oeuvres. The champagne I splurged on because Mom loves a good Prosecco. The handmade bread cooling in their baskets. Just hours ago, I was singing as I moved around this kitchen. I woke before sunrise, too eager to sleep. The morning light had barely touched the original hardwood floors as I checked my handwritten list. The invitation sent weeks ago promised a 1 p.m. celebration of my first home. This 1,250 square foot Victorian, I'd invested my savings and 8 months of sweat equity into renovating. "You're going too far again," Marcus had said, watching me arrange lilies in the antique white vases I'd hunted down specifically for this day. But his smile was warm as he helped me polish the flatware that once belonged to my grandfather. "I want everything to be flawless," I'd explained, adjusting a place card for the 5th time. "Dad said the house was too old when I bought it. Mom thought the location was risky. I need them to see what I've built here." Marcus had patted my back. "They should be proud of you no matter what." The first warning came at 12:45 p.m., a text from Dad. "Caught up with something. Go ahead and start." By 3:00, my co-workers, Lisa and Michael, had arrived. My elderly neighbor, Mr. Harold, brought homemade cookies. 4 friends from university showed up with flowers and genuine embraces, but no family. By 4 hours, I'd called my parents 6 times, straight to voicemail. Ashley wasn't picking up either. My text to uncles and aunts went unread. At 4:47, Uncle Marcus finally answered. "Hey kiddo, aren't you coming to Ashley's housewarming?" he asked, the background chatter nearly covering his voice. "She bought a condo uptown. Everyone's here celebrating. Your parents said you were aware." My chest tightened. "Ashley rents her condo. She didn't buy anything." A pause. "Well, that's not what she told everyone. Anyway, she organized this last week. Said it was crucial to her. I sent invitations to my housewarming 6 weeks ago." I whispered today at another pause. Longer this time. "Oh man. Well, we're all here now. But maybe you could come by later after your small get-together." I hung up. Now I sit surrounded by empty chairs meant for people who chose not to come. The faithful 6 who did show up exchange concerned glances across the table laden with cooling food. Mr. Harold, 79 and wiser than most people twice his age, rises from his chair. He lifts his glass, his gaze steady and determined. "Don't let empty chairs rob your happiness, son. Today is Ethan's day." The others raise their glasses. Marcus leans close, his voice gentle against my ear. "This is your real family, Ethan. The ones who choose to be here." My phone lights up again. "Dad calling." 6 pairs of eyes watch me, worry etched across their faces. I silence the ringer with one firm movement and raise my glass to Harold's toast. "Not today," I say, my voice stronger than I expected. Today is about the people who showed up. 4 hours later, the last guest waves goodbye, disappearing into the darkness beyond my porch light. Only Marcus remains, helping me wrap leftovers that will sustain me for days. A painful reminder of the empty chairs. You should crash at my place tonight, Marcus says, sealing another container. We'll drink beer and watch stupid movies until we pass out. I shake my head. I need to be here. This is my home. The word sticks in my throat. Home. The concept feels both mighty and delicate after today. The doorbell chimes, its sound piercing through the quiet house. Marcus and I exchange glances. I'll get it, I say, wiping my hands on a kitchen towel. I open the door to find my father, Robert Peterson, standing on my porch. His silver cufflinks catch the light as he looks past me into the house, scanning what he can see of my living room. Can I come in? He asks, not waiting for an answer. As he steps forward, I step aside, my stomach knotting. He walks through my entryway, his eyes traveling over the restored original floors. The period crown molding, I spent weeks refinishing the vintage chandelier I tracked down at 4 different estate sales. It's nice, he says with a slight tightening of his jaw, older than it appeared in photos. It's the familiar sting of his dismissal burns through my chest. Marcus appears in the doorway between the kitchen and living room, his presence a silent anchor. Dad, why are you here? I ask. Robert drops his keys on my coffee table and turns to face me. Honestly, Ethan, I don't understand why you're making such a fuss about today. You're always competing with Ashley, making her feel inadequate. She's finally doing something meaningful with her life, and you couldn't even show up to support her. The boldness of his statement leaves me momentarily stunned. Marcus's sharp intake of breath is the only sound in the room. I couldn't show up. I finally managed because I was here hosting my own housewarming that I invited all of you 8 weeks ago. Well, these things overlap, he says with a wave of his hand. You know how hectic we all are. Ashley only decided on our housewarming 10 days ago. She was so enthusiastic about it. I feel something crack inside me 10 days ago. But my invitations went out 8 weeks ago. Robert busies himself straightening a magazine on my coffee table. Ashley has been struggling lately. When she told us she was hosting a small gathering, we thought it would be beneficial for her. Give her some validation. She told you it was a rental condo, not a purchase, right? I ask, my voice calmer than I feel. Robert's fingers pause on the magazine. Well, you know how your sister is with specifics. What matters is that she's finally showing some ambition. Dad, I say slowly, understanding dawning. Did you know Ashley scheduled her party on the same day as mine? His silence answers my question more clearly than words could. You knew, I whisper. You all knew, and you helped her pretend she bought a place when she's just renting. The betrayal cuts deeper than I thought possible. You orchestrated a fake celebration to deliberately upstage mine. Now you're being overdramatic. Robert straightens, his defense mechanism activating. Not everything revolves around you, Ethan. Ashley needs our support more than you do. You've always been the self-sufficient one. Self-sufficient? The word ignites in my throat. I've been self-sufficient because I had to be. My entire life, you've overlooked my accomplishments while celebrating Ashley's mediocrity. Robert's eyes widen. I've never spoken to him this way before. When I made the dean's list, you were too busy at Ashley's mediocre softball games to attend the recognition ceremony. When I got my promotion, you spent the night comforting Ashley because she didn't get hers, even though she barely showed up to work half the time. My voice grows bolder with each word. I worked 2 jobs to put myself through graduate school while you paid Ashley's credit card bills after she maxed them out shopping. I saved for 7 years to buy this house, while you funded one failed venture after another for her. We've always supported both of you equally, Robert protests. But the lie hangs hollow in the air between us. I spent $78,000 in 8 months renovating this house myself. I continue trembling now. Every weekend, every personal day, every free hour after work. Meanwhile, you criticized my risky investment in a declining neighborhood. Without ever bothering to visit, Robert's face hardens after all we've done for you. What exactly have you done for me? The question erupts from someplace deep and wounded. Name one thing you've done to champion my dreams the way you champion Ashley's. His silence stretches between us. Marcus stands witness to a confrontation decades in the making. This house is mine, I say, walking to the front door and pulling it open wide. Earned by me. Get out. Robert's mouth opens in shock. This is not how our conversations end. Usually, I apologize for disappointing him, for being demanding, for existing in a way that requires more than he's willing to give. Ethan Michael Peterson, you do not speak to your father that way. I just did, I reply, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. Please leave. He gathers his keys, his shoulders rigid with offense. Your mother will hear about this. I'm sure she will. As the door closes behind him, I lean against it, feeling both empty and somehow more complete than before. Marcus approaches quietly, wrapping his arms around me. I'm proud of you, he whispers. Morning sunlight streams through my kitchen windows when the doorbell rings again. I've barely slept, replaying last night's confrontation in endless cycles. When I open the door, my mother, Margaret Peterson, stands on the porch alone, her tall frame slightly bent, her expression uncharacteristically hesitant. May I come in? She asks softly. I step aside wordlessly. Unlike my father, she pauses in the entryway, taking in the details of my home with genuine focus. Could I see it? She asks. The house, all of it. I lead her through each room. The kitchen with its restored period cabinets. The living room with built-in bookcases I refinished by hand. The study where I work remotely 3 days a week. The spare bedroom that Marcus helped me paint a soft blue gray. In my backyard, she stops by the herb garden beds I constructed last spring. You did all this yourself? She asks. Most of it, I answer. Friends helped with the major projects. She nods slowly. It's gorgeous, Ethan. You've created something wonderful here. The compliment, the first authentic one I can remember from her, lands strangely between us. Ashley told everyone she bought the place, she says suddenly. We knew it wasn't accurate. The confirmation of their deliberate deception still stings, even though I already suspected. Your father is very angry, she continues. I recognize the familiar pattern, the attempt to re-establish control through guilt. Perhaps if you apologized, we could move past this. I won't apologize for speaking the truth, I reply, or for expecting basic dignity. Her expression hardens slightly. You know, Ethan, we're not getting any younger and our estate. I don't need your money, I interrupt. I never did. Something shifts in her face. Anger perhaps at losing the leverage she thought she had. But in that flash of emotion, I see something else. The pattern that has defined my entire life. You gave Ashley 4 business loans, I say quietly. The boutique clothing store that closed in 4 months. The catering business she abandoned after 2 weeks. The cryptocurrency investment that was actually a Ponzi scheme. She has potential, my mother replies automatically. She just needs guidance to find her direction. And what about me? Did I ever have potential worth nurturing? Her silence speaks volumes. A car pulls into my driveway. Marcus emerges with an older man I recognize as his friend, Dr. Benjamin Carter. Behind them, Mr. Harold parks his vintage Buick, stepping out with a covered dish in his hands. My phone chimes with messages from co-workers who attended yesterday, sending photos and encouraging texts. I should go, my mother says, watching the arrivals with a frown. Your father expects you to call and apologize. The family has been through enough turmoil. You can't threaten me with family rejection when that's already my reality, I reply, walking her to the door. She pauses on the threshold. This isn't how family treats each other, Ethan. I know, I say quietly. That's the problem. As the door closes behind her, I lean against it, exhaling slowly. Dr. Carter approaches, his kind eyes assessing me with professional interest. That's the first step, he says gently, recognizing the pattern. The small red notification dot on my Facebook app has been taunting me for 9 days. Every time I unlock my phone, it stares back, daring me to peek at the damage my family continues to inflict. I'm sitting in my home office, surrounded by the pale blue walls I painted myself, when my phone vibrates with another text. Uncle Marcus, again, your father is very hurt. When are you going to apologize? I set the phone down on my desk without responding. The wooden surface still smells faintly of furniture polish from yesterday's cleaning. Through the window, I can see the oak tree in my backyard, its leaves turning crimson in the November sunlight. Ashley's Facebook remains unchanged since the day of my housewarming. Her profile still prominently features the condo purchase announcement, complete with champagne toasts and congratulatory comments from relatives who never bothered to verify a word of it. Enough, I whisper to the empty room. I pick up my phone and open my photo gallery. There waiting is the photo Marcus took 4 months ago. Me standing on the front steps of my Victorian holding the deed, face glowing with pride and exhaustion. The caption forms in my mind with perfect clarity as I type. Renovation completed on my first home purchase, from electrical work to refinishing these century-old floors myself. Thanks to everyone who supported this journey. First-time homeowner renovation Victorian style. I hit post without mentioning the betrayal, without tagging a single family member. The memory of buying this house floods over me. Working 65-hour weeks between my software development job and weekend freelance projects. Living in a studio apartment with furniture from college to save every possible penny. Losing 4 homes in bidding wars before finally getting the call about this Victorian that needed too much work for most buyers. That moment, standing alone in the empty parlor after signing the papers, pressing my palm against the worn wooden mantel, no parents to celebrate with. No sister to help move boxes, just me, a set of keys, and a house that needed as much care as I did. How different from Ashley's situation, the downtown condo our parents helped secure with security deposit and first month's rent, the furniture they bought, the cleaning service they paid for. My phone pings with a message from Sarah, my mother's brother's daughter and the only relative who seems to see the situation clearly. Thought you should see this. Her text reads, followed by screenshots of the extended family group chat. My stomach tightens as I scroll through the messages. Uncle Marcus, the situation with Ethan is getting out of control. Margaret is devastated. Aunt Patricia, Ashley says he's just envious of her success. Always has been. Cousin Jennifer, we all know Ethan's always been problematic. Remember the tantrum he threw at Easter when he was 18? The tantrum they're referring to was my reaction when everyone forgot I'd been accepted to Stanford with a full scholarship. They'd spent the entire dinner discussing Ashley's D+ average in high school chemistry. More screenshots follow, revealing the family mythology I've been fighting my entire life. Ethan the troublemaker, Ethan the overly dramatic, Ethan who needs to try harder to fit in. The weight of their collective dismissal feels like cement setting around my chest. Later that day, Dr. Carter's office smells like cedar and old leather. The fabric chair creaks softly as I shift my weight, recounting the family chat messages. The golden child versus scapegoat dynamic is textbook in your family structure. He says, his voice gentle but clinical. Ashley has been positioned as the one who can do no wrong, while you're assigned the role of the one who can never do enough. I've sensed this for years, I admit, but seeing it spelled out in that group chat, it's like they're existing in an alternate universe. Dr. Carter leans forward slightly. What would your life look like if you stopped seeking their validation? The question hangs in the air between us. For a moment, I can't breathe. I'd be alone, I whisper finally, cut off completely. Are you sure? He gestures toward the window. From what you've told me, you have Marcus, your colleagues, your neighbor, Mr. Harold, people who choose to see you clearly. I consider this, but they're not family, aren't they? Dr. Carter asks, his eyes compassionate. What makes someone family, Ethan? The question follows me home, echoing as I pull into my driveway. Marcus's car is already parked out front. Along with 2 others, I recognize co-workers from the office. paint supplies and brushes visible through their car windows. Surprise! Marcus calls from the porch, gesturing to the group behind him. Painting party for the spare bathroom. We brought Thai food and wine too. Inside, Mr. Harold is already there arranging flowers in a vase on my dining table. I brought cuttings from my garden, he explains, and I want to show you how to prune those lilac bushes out back before winter. My grandfather taught me, and someone should know these old techniques. Over the next 3 weekends, the house fills with more than paint fumes and sawdust. Laughter echoes through rooms that once felt hollow with expectation. My co-workers, Lisa and Michael, become regular dinner guests. Mr. Harold teaches me his grandfather's secrets for growing the perfect herbs next spring. The doorbell rings on a Thursday evening as I'm cooking dinner. Through the frosted glass, I recognize Ashley's silhouette. Immediately, the confident posture, one hand casually on her hip. When I open the door, her smile is as rehearsed as ever. "Hey bro," she says, leaning against the doorframe like we're in a sitcom. Place looks good. I don't invite her in immediately. "What brings you here, Ashley?" She has the grace to look slightly uncomfortable. Things got a bit messy with the condo situation. Dad and Mom might have overreacted. It's not an apology. Not really. I step aside and let her enter, watching as she evaluates the house with new eyes. "Listen," she says, circling back to her real purpose within minutes. "I've got this business opportunity, online boutique development downtown. Small investment, huge potential. I thought of you since you're into property now." The familiar pattern unfolds like a worn road map. Ashley needs money. Ashley comes to Ethan. Ashley expects Ethan to provide. "How much?" I ask, more curious than anything. "Just $12,000 to start. I pay you back once it takes off." Like the business loans from our parents that were never repaid. Like the temporary stay in her first apartment that they ended up financing for 18 months. I look at my sister. Really look at her perhaps for the first time. The charming smile that doesn't reach her eyes. The expectation of compliance is so deeply ingrained, she doesn't even consider I might refuse. "You've never seen me clearly," I say quietly. "And I finally see you." Her face hardens slightly. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means no, Ashley. I won't be investing in your project." After she leaves, I make a decision that surprises even me. I called my mother and agreed to Sunday dinner at their house. But first, I met with Dr. Carter to prepare. Remember, he says during our session, they'll try to pull you back into old patterns. You don't have to respond the way you always have. Marcus will be waiting nearby, I tell him, just in case. "Good. What boundaries are you establishing before you go?" I count them off on my fingers. "I'll leave if they belittle my house or my choices. I won't discuss lending money to Ashley. I won't stay longer than 75 minutes. Dr. Carter nods. "And what's your purpose in going?" "To see if honesty is possible," I reply. "To see if there's anything worth salvaging." Sunday arrives cold and overcast. I park in front of my parents' suburban home. Its manicured lawn and matching outdoor furniture, a stark contrast to my eclectic Victorian. Taking a deep breath, I walk to the door. The silence when I enter the dining room is deafening. Ashley attempts a joke that falls flat. My mother clears her throat repeatedly. My father busies himself with serving platters, avoiding eye contact. "Thank you for coming, Ethan," my mother finally says. I take my seat at the table. "I'm here to see if honesty is possible." The words land like stones in still water. No one seems to know how to respond to direct communication. We make it through most of dinner with strained small talk about weather and neighbors. My father asks about my job, but interrupts before I can fully answer. My mother inquires about the house, but flinches when I mention the new furnace I installed myself. The tension breaks when my father sets down his fork with a sharp clink against fine china. "I don't understand why you had to buy such an expensive house." He says all that money when you could have had something more practical like Ashley did. The lie hangs in the air between us. I stand up slowly, napkin placed carefully beside my half-eaten meal. "I didn't come for more lies," I say, my voice steadier than I expected. "Ethan, please." My mother pleads, also rising. Family should forgive each other. I look at her directly, then at my father, then at Ashley, who won't meet my eyes. Family should be worth forgiving first. The door closes behind me with quiet finality as I step into the cool evening air, breathing deeply for what feels like the first time in years. The morning sunshine spills across my kitchen counter as I arrange fresh-cut chrysanthemums in the white ceramic vase Harold gifted me. Through the window, I can see my garden coming alive. 4 months of determined work, transforming what was once barren soil into something beautiful. The herbs climb their supports with quiet determination, mirroring my own journey. These Sunday dinners are becoming quite the tradition. Harold calls from my porch, where he's setting out his famous apple crisp. At 79, he moves with surprising grace, refusing any help. Best day of my week, I answered, meaning it. The house feels different now, fully mine in a way it wasn't before. The dining room table that once displayed my family's absence now regularly hosts laughter. Marcus brings card games. Michael from work brings his violin. My colleague Jennifer brings her son, who chases butterflies in the garden at dusk. I've grown comfortable with the rhythm of limited family contact. Mom calls occasionally, awkward but trying. Dad sends formal texts about neighborhood events I never attend. Ashley sends nothing, which is its own kind of peace. Until today, my phone vibrates against the countertop. Marcus glances over from where he's chopping vegetables. Your face just did that thing, he says. I turn my phone toward him. On the screen, Ashley's social media announcement glows. He said, "Yes, Jennifer made me the happiest woman alive. Engaged. Finally found the one." The photograph shows her beaming beside a handsome dark-haired man. Her left hand prominently displayed with what appears to be a diamond large enough to require its own insurance policy. Wow, Marcus says. Didn't they just start dating last month? 6 weeks, I confirm, scrolling to read the comments. Relatives I haven't heard from in months have already liked and commented. My parents leading the congratulatory parade. My phone rings. Mom's name flashes on the screen. Ethan. Her voice is unnaturally bright when I answer. Have you seen Ashley's wonderful news? We're just thrilled. Jennifer is absolutely perfect for her. I press my fingertips against my temple. Congratulations. We're planning an engagement party in 2 weeks. The whole family will be there. She pauses meaningfully. This is important, Ethan. Family obligations come first, especially for something this significant. The familiar pressure builds in my chest, the weight of expectations wrapped in guilt. I'll think about it, I say, instead of my usual automatic agreement. Think about it. Her voice rises. This is your sister's engagement after everything we've done for you. I need to go, Mom, Sunday. May I come in? I step aside, noting her careful respect for my threshold. A small but significant change from her previous entitled entries. She places the box on my coffee table. Found these in the attic. Thought you might want them. Inside are family photographs. I've never seen me at 6 proudly holding a science fair trophy. Me at 13 sitting in Grandpa's workshop learning to use power tools. Me at 17 beaming in front of the used motorcycle I bought with my own earnings. I took these, Mom says quietly. Your father thought it was silly to waste film on. Ordinary moments. My throat tightens as I lift a photo of myself in a cap and gown. Face alight with achievement. Mom stands beside me, a rare smile on her face. We failed you, she says simply. I failed you. The words I've waited decades to hear land with surprising weight. Not satisfaction, not triumph, just a complicated ache. Ashley told everyone the engagement ring is paid for. She continues, staring at her hands. It's not. She used David's credit card with promises to pay him back. I wait, letting her sit with her complicity. Your father wants me to convince you to attend the engagement party to bring a generous gift. She meets my eyes directly. He doesn't understand that things have changed. Outside in my garden, Harold's wind chimes signal a shifting breeze. Some things have changed. I agree. Some haven't. Mom nods, understanding the boundary. She stands to leave, pausing at the door. The house looks beautiful, Ethan. You've built something real here. 3 hours later, Dad arrives unannounced, barging in with familiar entitlement. This ridiculous distance has gone on long enough. He announces, "You will attend Ashley's engagement party and behave like family, or you won't be family." It's that simple. The threat that once would have devastated me now feels strangely powerless. That's not a choice you get to make anymore, I tell him, my voice calm. His face reddens. After everything, I'll decide about the party on my own terms. You can show yourself out. The following afternoon, David and I sit in the corner of East Side Brew. He's nothing like Ashley's usual boyfriends. No artificial polish, no calculated charm. My parents divorced when I was 14, he explains, stirring his coffee. My mother was like Ashley in many ways, charming, always the victim, never responsible. My father enabled her until he couldn't anymore. Understanding passes between us. Are you sure about marrying her? I ask. His smile is sad. No, but I need to see this clearly before I decide. I consider my response carefully. I'll come to the engagement party, I tell him. Not for them, for me and for you. Later in my garden, Harold helps me deadhead chrysanthemums as the setting sun casts long shadows. Will going back into that environment hurt you? He asks, his weathered hands gentle with the blooms. I consider the question. Perhaps, but I'm not the same person they think I am. Harold nods, wisdom in his eyes. Family isn't who you're born to. It's who sees you truly. I look at my house. Windows glowing with warm light. Garden taking root. Strength visible in every repair and renovation I've completed with my own hands. This house taught me what family should be. I say, realizing the truth of it as the words leave my lips. People who show up, people who stay, people who see you, even when it's not convenient or comfortable. The evening breeze carries the scent of herbs and freshly turned soil. Growth and boundaries intertwined. On the engagement day, the cream-colored walls of the Riverside Country Club blur past as Marcus and I walk through the entrance. The weight of my decision to attend Ashley's engagement party sits heavy on my shoulders, but my spine remains straight, my chin lifted. You look sharp, Marcus whispers, squeezing my hand. Simple elegance beats showing off any day. I chose a navy blue suit that fits my frame without drawing attention. No flashy accessories, no elaborate styling, just me, unadorned and unapologetic. The murmuring stops as we enter the main reception area. Relatives freeze mid-conversation, drinks hovering near lips. Some nod awkwardly, others look away. I spot Uncle Marcus whispering behind his hand to Aunt Patricia, their eyes darting in my direction. Ashley stands near the gift table, her smile faltering as she notices me. She clearly expected an empty chair with my name on it. Another opportunity to paint me as the difficult one. David waves from across the room, relief washing over his face. My parents approach with practiced smiles that don't reach their eyes. Dad's relief quickly morphs into something sharper, more calculating. Mom shifts her weight from one foot to the other, her standard response to impending conflict. You came, Dad says, his voice pitched for the benefit of nearby relatives. How thoughtful. Wouldn't miss it, I reply, keeping my voice light. The weight of unsaid words hangs between us. 30 minutes pass in small talk with distant relatives who suddenly find the weather fascinating. I stand at the refreshment table sipping sparkling water when Dad materializes beside me. Listen carefully, he hisses, face arranged in a pleasant smile for onlookers. Don't mention your house tonight. This is Ashley's moment. The old pattern tries to reassert itself. Robert dictates. Ethan complies. Mom hovers nearby, her expression torn between intervention and preservation of the precious family peace. Dad, I know everything has to be about you, he continues, rearranging appetizers on his small plate. Just once. Can you let your sister have her moment without competition? Before I can respond, David approaches, his charcoal cocktail suit catching the light. His eyes darted between Dad and me, reading the tension. "There you are, Ethan," he says warmly. "I've been hoping to catch you." Dad's smile tightens. "We were just discussing family matters, son." I take a deep breath, centering myself. Dr. Carter's words echo in my mind. "Your response belongs to you, not to them." I turn to David, a genuine smile warming my face. "I'm here to celebrate you, David. Nothing else matters tonight." The simple truth hangs in the air. Dad's fingers tighten around his glass, his manipulation attempt thwarted. David links his arm through mine, pulling me gently away. "Thank you for coming," he whispers. "It means more than you know." The evening progresses, a careful dance of social pleasantries. Then comes the moment Ashley rises for her toast. Champagne flute in hand, David and I are so grateful to see everyone here tonight. She begins, her charm on full display. "As you know, this year has been full of milestones for us. My new condo purchased this engagement." David's smile falters. His eyes find mine across the table. The relatives who believed her condo purchase story shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Uncle Marcus studies his plate with sudden interest. I sit still, sipping my water, refusing to correct or engage. The lie collapses under its own weight as David's confusion becomes visible to everyone watching. After the toast, David pulls Ashley aside. Their heated whispers carry across the room. Ashley's gestures grow increasingly desperate as she glances toward our parents. Dad straightens the centerpiece with fierce concentration. Mom examines her watch as if time itself might rescue her. Later, I step onto the terrace for fresh air. The autumn evening wraps around me, cool and clean. There you are. David appears beside me, his eyes red-rimmed but clear. "Are you okay?" I ask. He shakes his head. I had no idea how deep this goes. The condo, the job promotion she never got, the savings that don't exist. His voice breaks. "Your parents know, don't they? They've